Welcome to the High Value Sales Show of Eversprint.com. I'm Malcolm Louie, the managing member of Eversprint, and today we're speaking with Michael Kalman, the CEO and founder of MediaCrossing, a fast-growing company that helps agencies and advertisers achieve better results through digital advertising. Welcome to the call, Michael.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Michael, you grew your company's revenue from $2.6 million in 2014 to $13 million in 2017, a 407% increase, and now you're on track to hit $23 million in 2018. To get to where you are today, what's the one thing your team had to do consistently and successfully over the past few years?
A handful of things, I think, before we even talk about outcomes and delivering success for clients. For us, the most important thing was hiring the right people, building culture, building a culture where people aren't afraid to fail, build a culture where people can work both autonomously when needed, but also work collaboratively to help our clients achieve excellence when it comes to their digital media campaigns.
When you say achieve excellence, can you I guess two questions. One, I went through your website. I know that you provide your service through a team of marketing strategists as well as programmatic advertising. Can you add some color as to what programmatic advertising means?
Yes, very simply, programmatic advertising is a frictionless way to buy media. I've been in the media business for quite some time, and when I started, we had to negotiate with media partners an insertion order. Everything now is done electronically. It's no different than high-speed trading, except in this particular case, we're trading in digital media impression, which is essentially an uncorrelated, unregulated asset class, the way we look at it. And it's our job to run digital media campaigns for clients that help them achieve some sort of KPI. What does performance need to be for them to hit a revenue goal, an awareness goal? And ultimately, our job is to help our clients build a one-to-one relationship with their customers. And that's the driving force of everything we do. Our people sit in rooms together and brainstorm and build strategies and then plans, all dedicated in helping our clients punch above their weight, maximize their media spend, and again, deliver performance when it comes to running their budgets through our platforms.
Going back to your earlier answer about the key drivers to your success, and you mentioned about executing with excellence. Can you dive a little bit deeper on that as to what the dimensions of excellence that your team strives for?
Right. There's a lot of competitors in this space. The barriers to enter the digital media space are de minimis. I think it's our job to not manage client expectations, but establish them and then exceed them. And I want to make sure that we are using the absolute best people to build these campaigns for clients. I want to make sure that we're using the absolute best technology platforms. And I want to make sure that we've built a process that is able on a regular, recurring, scalable basis to build performing campaigns for clients. So we call it the 3 Ps: people, platforms, process. But our job is really to build very custom strategies for clients. We have clients in the higher ed space. We have clients in the live event space, pharma clients, liquor clients, beverage clients. But the common thread with all those clients is that, they're marketing a product. They need to get not just awareness for that product, but they need to sell on a hyper-local basis so they can get inventory turn. And we really did build a handful of strategies that get them there. And I think the most notable thing that we invested our money in is our business intelligence platform that allows our clients to see what's happening in their campaigns down to the impression level.
Now, when you talk about digital advertising, you're talking about beyond just showing ads on Google, Facebook, LinkedIn, and whatnot, right? You're talking about advertising beyond just those platforms. What other platforms?
That's absolutely correct.
Yeah. What other platforms are you running advertisements on behalf of your clients?
So when we started, we were running primarily display. And in the last 6 years, we've evolved this universe of tactics to include display, video, mobile, social, streaming audio, connected TV, native advertising, and search. in addition to running more traditional tactics like TV, radio, print, and out of home. So yes, it's a digital first focus. It's a data first focus for MediaCrossing and my colleagues when we think about how to propel a client's brand, certainly deliver a message, but we're using all the tactics available to us to provide those levers for success.
How much of your process is automated, and how much of it requires a significant level of human monitoring and fine-tuning?
It's probably 70% automated with some of the tools we've built and with some of the tools we utilize from our vendors, and it's a solid 30% with digital media experts sitting on top of what we call demand-side platforms, monitoring the efficacy and the production of the buys we're running at any given time. But yes.
Right. Okay. So are these guys literally watching it like a hawk 24/7, or your system set up where they can still have a life and reasonable work hours?
Well, because we're running media every single day, there's literally people working every single day. Unlike the traditional agencies I worked for, in the 90s where, you were half-day Fridays in the summer and you were off on the weekends, we have a team of strategy and campaign, personnel looking at campaigns to make sure that things that run over the weekend run properly. But most of the time, we're programming the platforms to help us deliver a certain outcome. But there is no substitute for really good, experienced, platform people to watch these campaigns to make sure that they're delivering the way we've designed them to deliver.
Right. I mean, for sure, you don't want to waste your advertising spend, right? Just because something's not working right.
Yeah, I mean, these platforms are. My analogy is if you're running these platforms, it's kind of like flying your own plane. We suggest that if you want to go from New York to Florida, you get an airline ticket. You don't try to get there yourself unless you're a trained pilot. Delivering media on behalf of a client is no different than, flying a plane. It takes really smart people that have worked in these platforms that know the very nuances of how to traffic campaigns and operationalize them, and then, optimize what's happening to run them effectively. So we're professional buyers of media. Our people are trained in all the new technology, but our job is really to remove that burden from a brand and have our people, be an extension of their team to deliver these campaigns.
Right. Now, before you said that your campaigns are designed to achieve a certain action. What sort of actions have your clients wanted to achieve from their campaigns?
Well, we have one client that embarked on digital transformation. About 90% of their sales 3 years ago were the big pharmacy companies, CVS, Rite Aid, Walgreens, et cetera. And what they were finding is that they were losing shelf space to private label, and they decided to have a digital first strategy where they partnered with Amazon to be able to sell the full line of all their products. It was our job to help lead the digital transformation efforts for that brand, run advertising, drive people to a page within Amazon that we worked with Amazon to create, so our clients could get sell-through on products that were frankly discontinued by the big box pharmacies. Our job was to, migrate behaviors, change the way people bought our client's product. So the KPI in this particular case was sales, and our job was to push people to Amazon so they could transact. And in 3 years, 90% of our clients' business runs through Amazon without the threat of private label, and a lot of their other clients, a lot of their other vendors are the traditional pharmacy companies.
Now, how did you find this client, or did the client find you? And how was this problem identified? Identified by the client, or also identified with the help of your team?
We started working with the client, and we were introduced to the client as a referral from a client that was happy with our efforts. What was interesting is that when we met them, they were still knocking their head against the wall, trying to sell lots of different products to traditional pharma retailers. And then a year into our relationship, they had this epiphany that they could move more product through Amazon. They'd be less restricted in the amount of SKUs they'd be able to offer on Amazon, and we helped them migrate and execute on having an Amazon first strategy.
Now, did they come up with the epiphany, or is this something that your team has suggested to them as a way of solving their problem of losing shelf space to the private labels?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't want to take credit for having them increase their sales channel relationship with Amazon. I think they saw initial success by taking some of the discontinued items from the big box, retailers and moving those into Amazon and having us advertise. They saw so much velocity in sale that they thought that, hey, this would be a great platform for us to sell our entire product line. And so what we did is we built campaigns based on the different products, based on seasonality and geography and other characteristics to reach people that, would have purchased this stuff at retail if they could find it. And we drove people to Amazon to make them, to get them comfortable with the assortment of products that were available and encourage them to transact.
Fantastic. Yeah, I personally have had that happen to me as well, right? You're used to buying something from your favorite retailer, you know exactly where it is, and then one day it's gone, right? And now it's like, now what? So it's great having that option.
Right.
So Michael, in the pharma case study you just shared with me, you mentioned that you found this client through a referral. What percentage of your new business comes from referrals?
I would say a solid 50 to 60% of our business comes from referrals, which is why I encourage our team to deliver excellence in terms of the relationships we've had. Our best, most meaningful clients are the best salespeople for our platform and our brand. I think I'm fortunate that, the team here is really cognizant of the fact that our clients are the best way and the best resource for us to secure new business. And that means that we've got to always be delivering with them so they feel comfortable recommending us.
Does your team ask for the referrals proactively, or you just take it as they come?
I've always encouraged our clients to refer us. In some cases, they're pretty active at doing that. We have a handful of clients that have referred us to 3 or 4 pieces of business. In some cases, we've got to really perform before a client goes at risk and makes that referral happen. But look, at the end of the day, we're really fortunate that a big chunk of our business comes inbound as a result of the nice things our clients say about the things we've done for them.
Right, fantastic. Now, you mentioned 50% of your new business comes from referrals. Where do the other 50% come from?
So we have salespeople, we have relationships managers, we have account managers, and we have people that are sort of like evangelists in the marketplace that are really wired in, and they talk to other agencies and other clients about how we can solve for X and how we can deliver value for their media spend. So part of our leads come in through referrals. Part of it comes in through referral sources that we contract with, and we pay them a finder's fee if they deliver new business. Part of it is inbound leads that come in through our website and go into our marketing automation program. Again, big chunk of it is lead nurturing with our own internal sales team. And, I think part of it is we spend a lot of money on travel. We get out and meet new people all the time. It's our goal to have at least every 10 days, every 15 days, a new business pitch, a presentation to somebody with a budget, a professional buyer of media, where we're talking about the things we've built for other clients. We share case studies and our successes in the space.
Can you share how many clients you had back in 2014 when you were at 2.6 million, and how many that you have today now that you're at 23 million?
Yeah, we had in 2014 we had 3 solid clients.
Okay.
And now we have about 17 clients of varying sizes.
Right, but your clients are actually spending quite a bit with you, right? I mean, 17 clients in 2018, roughly 23 million for this year. So they're on average spending a little bit over $1 million a year with you then.
That's exactly right. When we started our business, we were looking to secure, 3 months of semi-guaranteed revenue at $25,000 a month. The initial contract was for approximately $75,000. What we realized by the end of 2015, we really couldn't operate our business unless we got clients to commit to a minimum of $500,000 over 6 months. And in 2016, we moved that number to $1 million. And since almost 2 years ago, we really don't take on relationships where we can't find $1 million in annualized billing. A handful of reasons why. Number one, we're going to invest an awful lot of money immersing ourselves into everything about the brand. We're going to spend an awful lot of time and money being face-to-face with the client, the brand leaders within the client, the salespeople, the finance people, every department that can help us learn more about the brand and the things that brand has as brand goals. And by the time we build this custom business intelligence platform, this dashboard that allows a client to see what's happening in their campaigns, in the first year, I wouldn't say we're losing money, but we haven't made any money in the relationship. So at $1 million, with all the time we spend to onboard them, plus some of the things we build for clients, we really start to see the profit of a piece of business materialize almost in year 2. And by the time year 3 hits, our clients have seen some success. They've been a part of, something that's been interesting for them. If you take a look at the business that we have, it's mostly focused on middle market clients that are trying to embark on digital transformation. The top 100, agencies and the top 100 advertisers, those aren't MediaCrossing prospects. It's the top, after the top 200 advertisers, we really do pick up campaign dollars, budgets from, the 200 to 800 size range. And that's because the people we have, the tools we have are really ideally suited to help that middle market client get the same access to tools and technology that the biggest agencies provide the biggest clients, but we're able to do it at a fraction of the cost.
So for your growth in your business, how much of it came from adding on new clients, which I know is significant, right? Because you went from 3 clients to 17. And how much of it came from just doing more business with your client, doing more campaigns, bigger campaigns?
Yeah, I would say 70% of that growth came from a handful of clients that we started with a number of years ago that were very, very small when we started.
Okay.
And when we think about digital transformation, we think about helping a client migrate from TV, radio, print, and out of home to a more verifiable, attributable type of medium, which are the various tactics we talked about that are all digital centric. And as clients are seeing success from what we were delivering in platforms, they took TV dollars or radio dollars or print or out of home dollars, and they migrated that to us to spend on digital media, the platforms we sit on.
Right. So, when you're looking for clients who can commit to $1 million per year, and does that include ad spend, or is that just for your team's efforts and the platform and the reporting?
That is mostly working media dollars. That is, revenue associated with running these campaigns.
Okay, so buying the media is on top of this, or is that included in the 1 million?
That would be included in the 1 million.
Okay, so that's it's a pretty, it's a significant amount, $1 million per year. How do you find clients that have the capability to make that sort of commitment to begin with? How do you find the leads of companies that can do this?
Well, we subscribe to a number of syndicated sources to show that report where clients are spending their money. We're a B2B provider of marketing services. We've got a number of experienced people here that can take the syndicated research we have access to, plus their market knowledge. And for almost every business category, we can identify the top 3 spenders.
Okay.
And we know that. I've been doing this since 1990, and I can tell you with a certain degree of precision, we know who spends the most money in the live event space, the over-the-counter pharma space, the controlled drug space, the adult beverage space. Literally, we could click down a bunch of different categories. By and large, we we're not always working with the number one leader in the category. I'll give you a good example. We started picking up regional banks throughout North America this year. I think we provide regional banks with the ability to, on a hyper-local level, build a one-to-one relationship with their customer. Banks have a unique challenge. They oftentimes in these regional and disparate markets have a pretty heavy bricks and mortar footprint, but young people today aren't going to banks to open bank accounts. It takes 90 seconds to open a Venmo account. And unless somebody's in the workforce and they need a bank to take on a direct deposit, they seldom open a new checking account. It's not like it was years ago. And our job is to help banks build a one-to-one relationship in their trading area with customers based on different characteristics. So in some cases for these banks, we're running campaigns that are targeted towards under 30 years old. This could be one of their first bank accounts. In some cases, we are running campaigns that are about helping people drive awareness against getting a mortgage. In some cases, we're running campaigns against running campaigns to get HELOCs, home equity line of credit. So with every single bank we've taken on, we've taken a look at all the products that they offer, and we have figured out a digital strategy to reach that ideal customer based on the data we have access to. So yes, we're able to reach people under 30 that are professional, that are looking to not only open a checking account but buy their first house and get a mortgage. And so our customers, not Citibank and Wells Fargo and JP Morgan. It's the middle market, local, regional bank that's been around for 100 years that is looking for a way to compete in a digital marketplace where there's lots of competition.
So what's your sales process? How long does it take for you to find one of these middle market companies and have them engage them and then have them become a client?
I would say end to end, from the time we have a meeting to the time we go through the commercial terms and the agreements, it's probably between 60 and 90 days. It used to be a lot quicker, but that I think was when we were dealing with much smaller advertisers. As we've gotten larger, we are dealing with more sophisticated advertisers. Most of these are not new buyers of media. These are professional buyers of media. In many cases, these companies have professional procurement departments, so we have to negotiate terms and conditions with a head of procurement, a head of Marcom procurement. So from the time we have a first meeting to the time we have a second meeting to the time we finish up a contract and onboard a client, secure their spend, and coordinate with the other agencies they work with, it wouldn't be uncommon for it to be at the low end 60 days, but probably more towards 90 days.
So at the end of 60 or 90 days, are they signing a $1 million contract with you, or are they starting with a pilot test first?
We're doing very few pilots. I think where we sit in this marketplace is if a client's going to choose us, they're going to choose us based on, again, the people, the platforms, and the process we've built. It's rare for us to be doing pilots. It's more often than not that we are looking at new clients that have, 6 to 10 million in advertising spend that's digital. When you count their non-digital, there could be another 20 million. These are $30 million clients. We're looking at, $1 million as a minimum. We're finishing up a contract with an advertiser right now where in 2019, they'll probably spend about $3.5 million for MediaCrossing. And it's been our job over the last few months not only to lay out a contract and a strategy, but build that into a statement of work and have meetings with a lot of the stakeholders. So we're ready to hit the ground running, the second week in January.
So, when you tell me that your clients are signing $1 million contracts, literally $1 million commitments, right, over 12 months in 90 days,
Correct.
That seems so fast to me. Is it because these companies are just comfortable spending these amounts and committing to them? It's not an unusual contract for them?
I don't think it's an unusual contract. These are typically evergreen budgets. I think what makes us unique is that we raise professional capital from a bunch of family offices. And when we started this business, I wanted to provide middle market clients, again, with the same tools and technologies that the largest agencies provide the largest clients in the world. And by the time we get to a middle market client, they've usually met with 2 or 3 of our competitors, and at the budget levels they're at, those competitors to MediaCrossing don't have a solution that meets their need. So usually by the time they've put us through the ringer on an RFP, or we've had numerous face-to-face meetings, and we share the business intelligence platform that we've built that we're going to provide to them when they work with us. These things go pretty quickly because they see the tools that we've built to really accommodate their spend. So I'm kind of surprised too in some cases where we've got a piece of business in the pipeline. It's about $5.5 million, hasn't closed yet. This is a client that's extremely smart. They know where they want to spend their money. They've had a number of agencies work with them over the last couple of years. They've had a lot of different CMOs. They haven't found the right partner internally or externally to articulate against their strategy. And I think they look to us to come in and help, again, lead that transformation. So I guess when you think about growing a business in the very beginning, again, we were looking at clients that could spend $20,000, $25,000 a month. And now, given the size and scope of the business and given the clout we have in the marketplace as a company that's performed really for 6 years in a relatively young industry, which is the digital media space, especially on the programmatic side, these transactions have gotten bigger for us. They've gotten larger for sure.
So for 2018, you're going to end the year at a little bit over 23 million with 17 clients. What are your goals and objectives for 2019?
2019 probably will be over 30 million. My goal, and this is what we've shared with our capital partners and our people internally, is we call it the race to 50. We want to be at $50 million in the next 2 years. I think given our pipeline, given what we're doing with current clients, it would be my expectation that we'll be able to do it. It certainly won't be easy because at the same time we're growing our client base, we're growing our employee base, and the nation literally is at full employment. Finding people that can fit in our culture, people that can fit into really our clients' culture, because a lot of times our people are really an extension of our clients' own teams, and finding people that can not only work for us, work on behalf of clients, but also deliver excellence and be really just thoughtful and considerate is really the hardest thing to deal with.
Right. It's always tough to find good people. Once you find them, you don't want them to go anywhere else, right? And it's easy given how it's full employment right now.
Right. That's exactly right.
So is that the biggest challenge you have now of in your race to 50, just finding the people to help you do that, to help you get there?
I think so. I mean, where we are in Connecticut, it's a very, very competitive marketplace. So we've had to get smart about the types of people we hire and how we train them. We have a relatively low turnover rate, given the size, given the norms in this industry, and we will make investments in people. We will be more than competitive with salaries. We're super competitive when it comes to benefits. Everything from company paid insurance and 401k match and all that good stuff. But the most important thing is, as we're filling the funnel in the pipeline for new business, at the same time, a concurrent activity is finding suitable employees that can help scale the business. It's gratifying for me as one of the founders to look at the team and see the faces that were here from the very beginning. And it's really my goal to provide the various teams with the resources they need to achieve not only success for our clients, but success for MediaCrossing. So definitely it's been an eye opener as we staff, because I want to make sure that we are really building the best team possible. So we sometimes make mistakes. We sometimes have hiccups. We made a couple poor choices this year when it came to a couple new hires. But conversely, I feel that we're really fortunate in a fast-growing space with the team we've had, how those people have grown, And some of the people that we've hand selected this year that really did contribute to culture, they really did assimilate well into how we're delivering value to our clients here at MediaCrossing.
In my notes, and depending on which source I look at, one source says you have 15 employees, another source says you have 22. How many people are working for you now?
25.
25. Okay. So you have 25 people with servicing collectively 17 clients. So to get to 50 million, you're probably, sounds like you might have to double your team then, right? From 25 to 50?
Correct. And so we've already taken some steps to think about how that would look. We're actually expanding the physical office. We're breaking down some walls and taking up more space here in Connecticut. We've already figured out some of the roles we need that are important to ensure that we have viability as we grow the business. We'll be adding, as we grow, people in the account management side of our business, strategy, and operations, as well as accounting. So yeah, stay tuned. It's going to be interesting to see how we're staffing as we're adding more revenue to the platforms.
Yeah. I mean, from what you shared with me, it sounds like your lead generation, your conversion process, you pretty much have that dialed in from a new client acquisition perspective. Would you say you're equally dialed in on the new hiring process as well?
No. Again, I think it's a challenge for us. And I think that, what I learned, one of the lessons I learned is that, if you can't be good at everything as a CEO, and you have to be comfortable adding others to kind of fill in where you aren't going to perform at the level that's needed to grow the business. And so we added a few executives to the business that are particularly good at operations and finance and helping to find and curate the right talent to make sure we have a springboard for growth. So I like the idea of dialing that in. I think we're still doing that. I think we still have some more work to do. I think that's definitely a pinch point in the business in terms of the growth we anticipate.
Now, which comes first? Do you hire more people and have more capacity than you need, then you add more clients, or do you add clients and go, oh man, we need more people. Let's go find the people quick.
It's a really delicate dance, and I would suggest to any entrepreneur that's listening to this, in the very beginning, you don't pre-hire, because revenue is going to come in. It's going to be really clumpy. It won't be linear. And what you'll end up doing is, if you pre-hire people before revenue, the forecast is never right. Even if you have the best of intentions and the best FP&A people, you'll end up having too much capacity, and you'll end up having to fire people to be able to make your EBITDA goals. And what I would suggest is that you have to think about the amount of people you have and what their capacity is. And the core group of people that sit in the business are the ones that are ultimately, if they stick it out, will be the highest compensated people in your organization, because during the lean times when you were adding business, they were working on weekends. They were working on holidays. So I would say for the first 3 years minimum of any new business, you might have a financial model that says you can hire 5 people to do X. Don't hire them all. Unless you have unlimited access to capital and your investors don't care. But that is highly unusual. Your investors are going to want to know how long it takes for you to be profitable. They're going to want to know when you're going to turn a corner on burning cash. And the smell of burning cash is no different than the smell of burning flesh. It is unmistakable. And you really have to think about the people that you bring on in the very beginning. And they're going to wear lots of hats, and they're going to spend a lot of time working on stuff that isn't core to their expertise. But before you hire, you have to really have the revenue. What I would say is, as we've matured and we've built our balance sheet, and it's really quite significant, we then can deploy some of that capital and make investments in areas where we know that if we don't have those areas established, we won't be able to secure that $3.5 or $5.5 million piece of business. So the first 3-4 years, we spent our time being very judicious about how we added people. As we built some financial models on top of the existing business we had, we spent a fair amount of time really just thinking about what are the essential folks necessary so we could accept larger pieces of business. And so as we go to the race to 50, we've added a little capacity. I wouldn't say that we've added enough capacity to cover our goal, our end goal in 3 years, but we've added enough capacity where we'll get through most of next year without having to add another person.
2 last questions for you, Michael. First
Yes,
one,
sir.
who are your ideal customers? And then the second one is, what's the best way for them to reach out to you?
So our ideal customer in many cases is an aspirational customer. It's a customer that's probably ranked 2, 3, or 4 in a very competitive category, and they want to figure out a way to leapfrog the nearest competitor. We've really built this platform to provide, again, middle market clients with access to the best tools and the best knowledge to help them reach their goals. So what I would say is if a client wishes to reach us to talk about how we're helping other clients chart digital transformation, how we're able to use data and the platforms we have to reach people when they're ready to make a purchasing decision of either a commodity item or a high ticket item, they should definitely reach out to me. I'm Michael at MediaCrossing. We'd love to chat with prospects. Part of, again, our goal is to meet every other week with somebody that has some sort of challenge in terms of reaching a customer. And our strategy people and our account management team come together to help our clients figure out what the best course of action is and how to best spend their marketing dollars to achieve that outcome.
Fantastic, Michael. Michael, thank you very much for joining us today and sharing how you accelerated your company's high-value sales.
I appreciate your time. I thought your questions were terrific, and I'm hoping your audience finds value in what we talked about today. And if they have questions, again, I'm Michael at MediaCrossing, and I look forward to sharing more.
All right, fantastic. We've been speaking with Michael Kalman, the CEO and founder of MediaCrossing, about his company's rapid growth. For interviews with other fast-growing, high-value sales companies, or to learn how we can accelerate your firm's high-value sales through automation, visit eversprint.com.